Hey folks, I wanted to talk to you about buying a used motorcycle and specifically a used dirt bike like this YZ250F, the 2017 here. As you can see, the Enduro in the background. I bought this summer. It's a WR250R, a Yamaha as well. It's a 2010. Bike was mint. I've been really enjoying it. But I wanted to get a little more hardcore dirt bike just because I didn't want to beat that Enduro up too much on serious trails. And I kind of pushed it to its limits on motocross track type of thing. So now I just picked this up a couple days ago. It's a 2017, and I think it's a good buy. You never know until I've ridden it once. As you can see, I was spotless. Sorry, I haven't washed it. I got it out just now to wash it, but I figured I'd do a quick video to help you guys with buying a used dirt bike, which can be tricky. I spent the last 3 months figuring it out. I've bought a lot of bikes in my day, you may know from my other videos, but the dirt bikes were a little more challenging. I haven't touched a dirt bike in many, many years since I was a kid. So when I wanted to get back into it, I wanted to buy something that wasn't going to give me headaches once I traveled an hour one way to get to the trails. I didn't want to be broke down. I want to be riding. So I tried to buy the latest model and best condition mint bike I could find. I understand, they need a lot of maintenance. I didn't know how much maintenance they needed, probably because as a kid, we just didn't do it. We just rode them until they blew up, and then you replaced the two-stroke cylinder, or piston, or the rings. So anyway, I wanted to make this into a multi-part video because there's a lot of information. And I'm going to talk about the hunt, finding the right bike to go look at first. So it's how to buy a used dirt bike, the hunt, before you go look at it, selecting something off of Craigslist, which is where I use primarily. You could do Cycle Trade or what have you, but I was trying to buy something in my backyard, obviously, but that was impossible. At this time, I just didn't stumble across anything that met my needs or my satisfaction in terms of quality and wear and tear. And the model, I was after this model specifically. It's well rated, durable bike, got great performance, etc. So I had to travel 3 hours for this bike. I live in South Florida, and I had to cross the state to get this bike. But before you go look at a bike, here are a couple of the things you want to look at. Get as many good detailed pictures as you can get, and then you always want to have a real phone conversation. Forget the texting back and forth. Get the guy on the phone, or the person, the woman, or whoever's selling it, and talk to them specifically. Make sure it's their bike, not their brother's bike, not their friend's bike, and make sure they own it free and clear and they have a title. Those are first and foremost. And I ask them these questions first. I always make a full list of questions to ask. You always want to make a list because you don't want to forget. And the more information you can gather up front, the more likely you won't waste your time driving across the state for 3 hours to look at something that you can't buy or don't want to buy once you get there. So I'm never interested in traveling any distance I don't even want to travel 10 minutes if I don't get, the answers that I want on buying anything, car, boat, bike, what have you. And I bought a lot of stuff in my day, so I've got some golden rules that I never ever break. And that is, and some of them are, you just need good quality pictures before you go look at it, as many as you can get. You want to see wear and tear on cases. You want to know if it's original plastics, original seat, how much is original, how much has been swapped out, why is it swapped out, did they have a crash, did they bend the bars and bought some aftermarket bars and make it look good, why did they swap out the plastics, where are the original plastics, do they have them, do they have the original equipment, do they have the original exhaust if they swapped it out, how worn are the tires, are they original tires? As you can see, this one is very worn. I didn't wash it like I mentioned, but it was spotless yesterday. But this guy rode it on the road, and you can tell that his answer was accurate. He wore down the center, going straight down the concrete, and he didn't even touch the nipples on the side. So there was no cornering on this bike. So, and then you want to know, about the originality. And like I said, the pictures, if you can get a picture from the rear, see if it's straight. Does the fender line up with the wheel? A picture of this side cover right here where the boot rubs. See how much paint's missing from this cover. Now, this was a little bit misleading because this guy did not have real motocross boots and he didn't ride it in the dirt. So this is going to be in better shape than normal. So he could have 40 hours on this bike and no wear on that cover because he was riding in jeans and sneakers on the road. Now, you could have 10 hours on this thing and ride it in the dirt with motocross boots and the paint will be missing off of this. So those are the things you kind of need to understand about dirt bikes. It did have a dent in the frame, which bothered me the most, but I looked at the weld. The weld was solid. It's a mild dent. It looks like it fell over and got on some sort of sharp metal blade type thing, you know, almost like could have been a trailer hitch, who knows, something sharp and metal, because it scuffed it pretty good. But I wasn't too concerned after I got a good look at it. Dirt bikes are tough, but you get as many pictures as you can. Get a picture of the VIN number. I don't know if you guys know, but the VIN number is hidden right in here. I'm pointing to it. I just didn't want to show it, the whole thing. But and then you always get a photograph of every title of anything you're going to buy, and a photograph, and do not accept it if they don't send you a picture of the photograph. They can text you a nice picture, they can email you a nice picture, front and back, get a picture. Make sure the name and the address match to and the person, and then make sure it matches the VIN on the bike. Get photographs for each. Never take their word for it, never write it down. Get photographs of each. Trust me, you'll thank me for that tip. I've heard the weirdest stories about titles and ownership and not matching VINs. You don't want to go there. I don't buy anything that doesn't have a clear title. I don't even buy bikes with bank loans because I'm not interested in waiting 2 weeks for a title after I've traveled 3 hours and gave them all the money. So those are some of the rules I stick to. So that's the hunt. Find a bike you like, find the model you like, try to stretch your budget as high as possible for a used dirt bike, because you do not want the headaches of rebuilding, especially these 4-strokes. They can get expensive. The 2-strokes are a little easier and cheaper to rebuild, so if you know about those things, I understand. I just wanted a bike that I could just add gas to, and I didn't feel like mixing, and I like the 4-strokes. But they're both great. I'm sure, I know I love the 2-strokes too. I got a lot of 2-strokes bikes myself, but they're street bikes actually. So those are some of the questions, and like I said, make a list, get all your questions answered, get your photographs, understand plastics, etc. Title work is very important, and go from there. So that's part 1, the hunt, asking the questions and getting the pictures. Thanks.